If you have ever felt torn between desire and discipline in love, this pairing will speak to you. If you keep meeting someone who awakens your heart but also tests your patience, boundaries, pace, and power, stay with me because Pratipada and Ekadashi do not create an ordinary relationship. They create a relationship that asks you to grow. Pratipada and Ekadashi are not matched because they are identical. They are matched because they provoke evolution in one another. One brings hunger, movement, attraction, expression, excitement, and the urge to experience life fully. The other brings focus, restraint, willpower, discipline, intensity, and the urge to master life rather than be consumed by it. One says, I want to feel everything. The other says, I want to direct everything. When these two meet, love becomes both a fire and a training ground. If you are in a relationship, this pairing can explain why attraction felt immediate, but understanding took time. One of you moves through emotion with speed, appetite, longing, sensuality, and a need for visible engagement. The other moves through emotion with caution, depth, concentration, and self-control. One wants aliveness, the other wants order. One wants romance to feel vivid, the other wants love to feel meaningful and contained. That difference can become the very reason the bond becomes unforgettable. Pratipada carries the psychology of beginning. It wants life to open. It wants beauty, expansion, stimulation, pleasure, identity, and emotional experience. This person often feels quickly, attaches quickly, and can be disappointed quickly. Their emotional body is rarely flat. It wants movement, response, and proof that life is happening now. In love, this can look like strong attraction, expressive affection, a love of pursuit, a need for visible desire, and an instinct to create momentum in the relationship. They do not enjoy emotional deadness. They want to feel chosen, wanted, engaged, and alive. Ekadashi carries a different emotional intelligence. This is the energy of focus, self-restraint, discipline, inner power, and voluntary control. This person may not always show emotion dramatically, but that does not mean they feel less. In many cases, they feel deeply, but contain more, measure more, and sacrifice more. In love, this can make them appear strong, mysterious, intense, or hard to read. They may care deeply, but express selectively. They may love powerfully, but not noisily. They may commit seriously, but on their own timing. Now you can see why this pairing is potent. Pratipada awakens Ekadashi. Ekadashi steadies Pratipada. One brings emotional color. The other brings emotional structure. One adds warmth, immediacy, sensual charge, spontaneity, and appetite. The other adds seriousness, consistency, boundaries, depth, and the ability to hold pressure without collapsing. This is not just chemistry, it is corrective chemistry. If you are single, listen carefully. You may keep attracting either the Pratipada type or the Ekadashi type because your soul is trying to learn a lesson about emotional balance. Maybe you are the one with too much longing, too much speed, and a tendency to chase intensity. Then you may be magnetized to a person who is restrained, composed, self-contained, and difficult to win fully because they force you to grow in patience and self-respect. Or maybe you are the one who over-controls, overworks, suppresses emotion, and leads with discipline before tenderness. Then you may be drawn to a person who reminds you that love is not a task or a strategy, but a living force that needs warmth, play, sensuality, and expression. This pairing is not soft, but it is powerful. It is not always effortless, but it is deeply formative. If both people are conscious, the relationship becomes a bridge between desire and mastery. If both people are unconscious, the relationship becomes a battlefield between indulgence and restraint. For couples, here is the truth. Pratipada may feel that Ekadashi is too controlled, too emotionally reserved, too serious, or too unavailable when affection is needed most. Ekadashi may feel that Pratipada is too impulsive, too restless, too emotionally hungry, or too demanding of immediate engagement. One asks, why do I feel your depth, but not always your softness? The other asks, why does every feeling need expression right now? Hidden inside these frustrations is the medicine. Pratipada teaches Ekadashi that pleasure is not weakness. Tenderness is not failure. Desire is not the enemy of spiritual power. Ekadashi teaches Pratipada that not every urge deserves action. Not every emotional wave deserves a decision. Discipline can protect love. Restraint can deepen attraction. Timing matters. Boundaries matter. Emotional maturity matters. So when this pair works, it works because each stops trying to convert the other and starts learning from the other. If you are healing from a breakup or divorce, this pairing has a deeper message for you. Many relationships fail not because there was no attraction, but because one person could not hold the intensity they themselves invited. Pratipada and Ekadashi teach you to ask a sharper question. Not, do I feel something powerful? But can I sustain something powerful without destroying it through impatience, fear, control, overgiving, withdrawal, or emotional chaos? Maybe you loved someone deeply, but the pace was wrong. Maybe you were all desire and they were all caution. Maybe you were all restraint and they were all hunger. Maybe one of you wanted devotion while the other wanted freedom. This pairing gives language to that pain. It tells you that attraction alone is not compatibility. Intensity alone is not intimacy. Longing alone is not readiness. But it also gives hope. When you understand the pattern, you stop blaming yourself for every mismatch. Sometimes the relationship came to teach you how to regulate desire. Sometimes it came to teach you how to trust warmth. Sometimes it came to teach you that control without tenderness becomes loneliness and desire without discipline becomes self-sabotage. For the Pratipada person, your lesson in love is not to become less alive. It is to become more centered. You do not need to kill your passion. You need to refine it. You do not need to stop wanting. You need to stop scattering. You need to learn which feelings deserve your future. For the Ekadashi person, your lesson in love is not to become less strong. It is to become more available. You do not need to abandon your discipline. You need to let intimacy enter it. You do not need to lose your boundaries. You need to allow warmth to live inside them. You need to stop treating every need as a threat to your power. This is why the chemistry here can be so compelling. Pratipada brings obvious desire, visible attraction, emotional urgency, and the wish to merge through experience. Ekadashi brings contained fire, focused intensity, and the feeling that something deeper is being tested under the surface. One makes desire visible, the other makes desire concentrated. Together, they can create a bond that feels magnetic, serious, and impossible to treat casually. But let me be honest, this pairing needs maturity. Without maturity, Pratipada chases, dramatizes, idealizes, and then crashes. Without maturity, Ekadashi withholds, judges, over-controls, and then disconnects. Without maturity, one feels starved and the other feels overwhelmed. With maturity, it becomes one of the most strengthening pairings of all. Pratipada cannot remain impulsive forever in the presence of Ekadashi. Ekadashi cannot remain armored forever in the presence of Pratipada. One must become deeper. The other must become softer. One must learn emotional responsibility. The other must learn emotional generosity. One must slow down enough to stay. The other must open enough to be felt. So if you are in this connection now, ask yourself, are you trying to win against each other or are you trying to evolve with each other? Are you using your style as a weapon or as an offering? Are you punishing your partner for being different, or are you learning why their difference may be the exact medicine your emotional body needs? And if you are still searching for love, this is where discernment becomes power. Do not only ask whether someone excites you, ask whether they balance you. Do not only ask whether they want you, ask whether they can hold you. Do not only ask whether the chemistry is intense, ask whether the bond has enough structure to survive real life. Real compatibility is not just attraction. It is the meeting point between desire, safety, timing, truth, and mutual capacity. This is exactly why intimacy readings matter. A real compatibility reading does not just tell you whether two people look good together on the surface. It shows you the emotional engine underneath the relationship. It reveals why one person pulls closer when the other pulls away. It reveals why attraction can be strong while peace is weak. It reveals whether a bond is meant to nourish, transform, test, delay, or mature you. If you are a couple trying to understand each other, if you are single and tired of repeating the same pattern, or if you are recovering from heartbreak and need clarity instead of confusion, book an intimacy reading and compatibility reading with me. I will help you see what your emotional body is really seeking, what pattern you keep attracting, and what kind of bond can actually support your future. Because once you understand the truth of a pairing like Pratipada and Ekadashi, you stop chasing random intensity. You start recognizing purposeful love. You start seeing that one person may awaken your desire, but another may awaken your destiny. And when you are ready to understand your own intimate pattern at that depth, come work with me. Book your intimacy reading and compatibility reading with me.